Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. We're in turn 2 and let's continue. I want to go and take a look here because I'm gonna actually send more units over to the reserve, more airplanes at the very least, and some of these are definitely part of it. So I actually want to keep KG1 because I want them to help out in to make sure that we can isolate Tallinn. But I'm gonna send KG77 and 76, send them to the reserve. Again, this will train them and burn less fuel, etc. It means I don't have to supply them there, and means that they're altogether just gonna take up less supplies overall. There we go. But I'll keep KG1. I don't need it now, but I might need it in the future. So Yagashraider 54, the only forward airbase that we currently have that's also in supply is Riga. So I actually want to send I want to send them over to Riga. And let's just do an immediate transfer. They are going to be fine, and then they're going to stay there. I don't need to give them any directive currently. As far as I'm concerned, by the way, this is probably from Koluft 4 Panzer Group, which is super weird like this. I want to relocate them into this area. That's a lot better because having them at the back is kind of weird as well. There we go. It's weird that it now says this, kind of like, although it seems like then this air fleet thing together with First Fleet Corps, they just move by themselves. Huh. That's interesting. Another thing now. I will leave these two down here. They're not going to do anything. But as for Koluft 18, if I get them to Riga, they might get overburdened. I'm gonna have them set to recon though. I actually need to remove all the other air directives. Bye. Okay. Air Fleet 1. I want Koluft 18. To So they would go and fly there. Let's actually try something. So currently we only have this here. And they're at 75. This rail line is not working. So that's only do a bit of recon up here. And this way we can see whether there are still any units in there. Probably I don't need to really worry about it that much, and I'll only use Coloft 18. That's just that direction. Then for Coloft 16, I'll do something similar in this area here to see where those units are. And to be honest, I really feel that we don't need to do it that much. I only need to get a general sense. And for the moment, let's just leave it at that. So these guys will automatically try to intercept. As far as I'm concerned. 1 second. All right. What I want to do is I want to set on. Oh, what? No. That's super annoying. Really. All right, never mind. Let's confirm. And this is fine. Yeah. Okay. So for air superiority, I want to use, of course, Jagdgeschwader 54, and I kind of want to do that within this area. So the staging base will be Riga. The target hex is going to be around here. What if we do an area of a 6? So this particular area is probably going to be good. They're going to schedule it all days. No, actually, never mind that, because I'll probably eventually actually lose more planes in technical with technical issues constantly flying than anything else. So let's forget about that. Anyway, that's actually going to be it. I'm going to keep those guys there. Now, for second, or Army Group Mita, STGs, they'll stay there since we don't have any forward positions. But I'm going to send... Well, these are fighter bombers, and they have their mission as fighter. I have to be a bit careful here, because I want... yeah, you. Okay. So let's send these to reserve. Reserve and reserve. Then both of these Jagdgeschwaders will stay there, just like STG. Coloft, that's fine. Jagdgeschwader. Here we are. Heinkel 111s. should go. Just like these. So the SDG will stay, and the rest of these units as well. Now for the last ones, I'm gonna start here by sending away the Romanian bombing units. Or actually all of the Romanian airplanes. I'll keep KG-27 because I'll probably soon want to do some naval interdiction around Odessa. And I need some serious units for that. So that they don't get any supplies. Did say I would keep the recon. But I'm going to send these to the reserve as well. I'll keep that, but this bomber regiment also is going to go. They're all being sent to the reserve. That way we can save the supplies for things that actually need it. Here we are. Now we still have the SKG-210, and they are trained as bombers. I want to withdraw these group for retraining, and they're going to come back as fighters. And the way it works is that if they're trained as bombers, they will operate as fighters at 80% of their capabilities, and they'll do bomber at 100 and the other way around. Well, yeah, these guys will go. And now it doesn't really matter that there's too little forces on that airfield because I don't need them. Now, in here, I will actually send away KG-55. And KG-54. There we go. Okay. Now that we've done that, I will be looking at recon missions first. So for Second Air Fleet, I want to have a recon mission, I guess, on the pocket from Clothed 4. And let's use this as our staging base. I want an area of 6 hexes here. And let's have the target hex, well, be on this side. I don't need any escorts because all they're gonna do is look, and it's gonna be Let's just use Clothed 9 for it. But then if we're using Clothed 9, let's use this as a staging base. Clothed 9 is in a lot of places, and to be honest, I'd actually rather have them be in a much smaller area. All right. That makes it a lot easier for Coloft 9. Coloft 4 should also mostly be operating down here. So I'll transfer them over here. Yes. Seems like they decided to only go to this location, which is also fine. I will deal with the other units as they go. Coloft 2nd and 3rd Panzer Group will just stay there because they can't move forward yet anyhow. Jagerschweder 53. I will relocate them to Minsk. Yeah. Okay. They don't have the manpower there yet. I know that, but this way, at the very least, we'll be working on that. Now, can I take a look at the Minsk airbase? I will have to deal with those supplies situations. Well, obviously I wanted to have the highest priority. If we're looking at the airbase details, there's already some support, not enough. But that will come with time. So we'll see those shuffling around. Now, there is... Let's see, because this is... Minsk Airfield is at 34%. But there's no other big airfield currently, except for this one, this level 2 airfield. We'll deal with that later. For now, the transfer is okay. Is the only thing that's important. I'll leave both of these, although I want the STG to go on a ground attack directive. That's going to be STG. No, actually, I don't need additional ground attack directives here. I actually only need recon on that, and this is too far away, so I can't really do anything with that currently. I'll just generally have to wait till the supplies catch up in those directions. In the south. Why you operate in such a big area is beyond me. But let's leave it for the moment. I want Coloft 17 when it comes to recon. Our fleet 4. There's nothing in here. Like, I don't need additional air support. It's kind of weird. Anyway. So it's Coloft 17. Their staging base should just be Yasla. Low intensity. And now I guess I'll do it for this direction. Let's confirm. Then I want another recon with Koluft 6th. And it's going to be around the Ravno region. This is fine. They're going to come from down there on that target hex. This is low, no escorts, and that's all set, except for the area, which should be 5, like this. And then let's put the hex 1 forward, just like that. Confirm. Makes sense. Okay. There is then one more recon activity that I want to do, which is down there. But I just there will be around here, this area, because I'm gonna want to move my panzers that way. That's going to be done by the 3rd Romanian Recon Group. In this area. If I add the 2nd Romanian Recon Group, that might be a bit better. And I have Jaka Schrader 52 as backup. Escorting the strike will be a minimal of 1. All right, there we go. Let's confirm. That's that. Now, I don't need to move any of these other ones around, so I won't. These are the air directives that I want to set, and that's what it should be. Got quite a few operational losses on just one day. Maybe they should be operating a lot higher. Holy cow. Right, those are very high losses, actually. So let's see if we can actually reduce those losses for a bit. Anyway, now, like for example, also here I actually didn't see anything. Right. Anyway, let's get started with the ground units. So, where's the 50th Corps? Here. I have to say, I'm not feeling too good about attacking the tank in one go, so I'll actually add these. There we are. Okay. So there's nothing there. The movement for you guys, probably best to just try and move up. For Potsai, and these guys, I wanna definitely quickly get rid of these. Of course, the main problem, at least here, with these units. Okay, now that this entire area is in a way clear, I can start working on the rail to move further up towards Riga. Not by a lot, since I do need to take those X's again. Of which, I guess the most unfortunate is that I have to move in here to take those two. Well, let's make sure we make the most of it in terms of movement. And grab as many hexes as possible. Kind of like what we did before. If I can get them to turn under my control faster, that's just gonna be the best. I actually really want to move these forward. It's probably best to leave this to this army, because I don't want to give them too much slack. So indeed, let's do that. So I also want to use the rear units again. I mean, they'll be there for a while. It's well. Let's also take a look here, because I think, we probably won't make it. No. Right. Let's just start clearing out units in here. And especially with these guys too, try to take these hexes so things do go quite a bit faster. Okay, good. I'd rather go around. We do have got a few additional units there. I guess ultimately the question is what you want to do with those. So get rid of them. This obviously might take a while. Oh, those are gone. But I will certainly move up with most of these. Let's see, they would obviously get their supplies from there. Okay. Interesting that. Get rid of you. And I'll probably shuffle the HQs around a bit depending on how things go. Now, as I said, I'm looking to take these hexes. And if I can help it, I'll even pitch in with an attack here. That's weird. But let's make sure we get rid of you. And now the pocket is also split in two. Not that there are that many more units around here. I mean, this is just primarily that the leftover units from Minsk. So okay, you can get up to here now. That means I do need to convert these hexes too, but okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll have those three deal with this. So that the majority can go up. And take more hexes, although it seems to me that they have a unit in there. Because otherwise these guys are in a heavy woods hex. But they cannot draw supplies from anything at this point. Yeah, let's get you close to Dagovbilsk, so you can go and cross soon. Seems like that hex is completely fixed. They probably won't be able to get in Vilnius. I don't really see that happening. Good. But I still want to keep these guys moving. Same here. Okay, I could use one of these to make sure they cannot get into Riga. That will also allow me to clear up 6th Panzer. So it does have some benefits of that. As well. Now, they will always have to move 1 hex forward. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to move all 3 of those HQs in there. Okay, that's it for the ground move, or the, let's just say, pocket area movement in that direction. As I did previously, I do tend to try and do the easier stuff first, so that is then kind of what I'm working on. I don't see anything there. That's a bit of a disappointment. Okay. The tanks were the most important to deal with there anyway. But I should be moving these guys further down. Since, as far as I'm concerned, that army should be heading that way. It's a pretty rough attack there. It's a relatively small pocket, so it shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna use these guys to take as much territory up north here as possible. They'll have to go through some nasty stuff. They will not be able to move further from Dubno, so I'll actually move them in here to both take Dubno and continue along. I'll just go over to this side. I cannot do any other attack, but I feel like they're fine at this point. Let's just get you into Pinsk. It allows me to take those hexes. While continuing to move. It's interesting how far your units can get this way. And what they might still be able to achieve. Well, it's not a super amazing attack, but it allows me to start moving these units. And to be frank, I kinda, yeah, okay. Hope to be able to get rid of these as well. The goal, of course, now is to get an encirclement over here. I should definitely be reorganizing these before continuing along with them. There are no units that can now launch an attack there. But let's link you up. And see what we can do here. Take as many hexes as possible. Yeah. So for them, best outcome is to move there, there, and there. Let's keep working on that rail line. And where does it go? To the east. Okay, not bad. I'll still move most of the 6th army through this way instead of up there, while trying to take also as many positions as possible. In this case, I want to see whether I can take Sertskov, and indeed I do. So that's another airfield in this area, which succeeds to me. I cannot attack afterwards, but I still want to just move in here. You can move into Proskurov, that's great. And pushing the 6th Army in through this way should be pretty reasonable. Alright, so now that that is done, and I do have more of these guys here. Ooh, nice. Let's take that airfield. Not that I think that they have air units on it, but Okay, so this motorized corps has Gustav from Wietersheim. He is not great. Mech 6, Infantry 5. But switching him up. Let's see, because this motorized corps in the Werner camp is a lot better. What I can do at the very least when I move them. So let's just say I'm moving Viking first towards this general area. And now I can put them under the 48th Motorized Corps. And this armor, I can put it under the 48th. Motorized Corps. I mean, it's not as if this guy is like really bad, but I am much better off doing it this way. Okay. So let's get serious again and start with motorized movement up in the north here. I want to move straight up to Pskov, so let's see what we got. Okay. Fair enough. And if you ask me, let's see, this is 24, 22. Like, a mechanized does require a bit more work than that. There are a few things that I could do, but okay, there's another unit there. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to do is move you and attack again. Okay. So then the truly important question becomes, how far can you get? Okay, well, I won't be able to attack it, but we're close to encircling it, I suppose. Now, what is the likelihood of... Yeah, they actually claim this is the easiest way. But not anymore. So I am quite aware. Huh. Pretty interesting that. What I want to do is move you up. And actually attack. I know I'm losing tanks because of that, but the I want to leave this open. So in order to do that, I have to move. Okay. Let's actually take those X's. And with this movement, again, I should be able to move significantly further and get close to Pskov. Yeah, I'll deal with the supply situation later. So next up, we have the last units from these. Let's make sure they get as far as possible, since the AI is not gonna move in here anyway. Oh yeah, one thing I did last episode is I put all the units that can repair rails. I actually put them under Army Group South because I want them to repair the most at Army Group South, because they're going to need to take the most territory, at least for the moment, and that's why you'll be seeing more of those units around this area to deal with the rail lines. Anyway, now that that is done, let's see if it's possible to move further along. And maybe even capture Mogilev. I was a bit afraid there, but ultimately they did make it. And I will put 3 motorized divisions in there to take Mogilev this turn. Because I do feel like I also need 3. Sweet. And maybe I can just put the Grossdeutschland Motorized Regiment in there. Yes, I can. That also means that I will need to think about any upcoming plans. I'll leave 4th Panzer in there to reorganize a bit. Should help them. We're actually making this bigger, so I expect a little bit less trouble here. And I don't need to cross immediately there at Schlobin. It's not really about that. Yeah, let's start moving 12th Panzer up. Try to move along the road. We do run into something pretty interesting, namely these tanks. That's a bit of a problem. Mostly the tanks. So I'll actually attack. Okay. So Orsha is empty. And I should, well, I am at least able to cross there. Well, let's go in here. Take Vitebsk. And put them in there. That at least should be a cakewalk. The more interesting thing comes from here. So okay. Well, I can also keep going quite a bit further. I actually wonder what they would do with that. They actually still have a reasonable amount of supply. I could probably encircle Smolensk on the next turn. I do feel like that's gonna be possible. So why not? Now, what I'll do as well is I'm gonna move you up here and then just leave them. And the other thing that I'm gonna do is pretty much the same with you. But in well, the thing is, if they move in here, yeah, it'll be nigh impossible for them to break out, get across, etc. Let's take that depot. And just get them into Moldalev. These guys will stay in there, so they will not be using any of their supplies, etc. This might actually hurt. Not yet. This hurt, okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave them here for now and just do nothing. I wanted to clear that immediate area. Also to secure this here position. And I think that now, with the way things are, I've been able to set that up. So I will not be doing anything there anymore. Not at all. Okay. Excellent. Most of those have been moved. Here, I'll take care of the HQs later. Right. Now, you're at 10 out of 12. Let's make that 11 out of 12. Good. Okay. I'll start with Viking. I said we need to work our way down, so let's get that HQ in there. Let's start attacking. So for some of these, I definitely want to have a second unit. Might look like we don't need it, but I think we do. If any of those other additional Soviet tank units end up supporting, I've been in trouble. And I don't want that. I guess it requires additional work. That's okay. I've now cleared a path, and there's just one thing about this path that I still want to get rid of. Which are those tanks. And there's a pretty good reason for that. That reason is I'd rather move through this way, but we'll see. Let's start working on everything down here, because not only second Romanian Corps. Let's actually see what he has. So 3, 4, 5, and 4. And 5th Romanian Corps has 5 infantry. I'm just generally going to look at their infantry level. Four as well. Mountain Corps 4. Most of these guys have it at 4, with only one of them at 5. How about you? Also 4. So 4 is pretty much the norm. But you have higher morale, and actually they have, this guy is 4 initiative, 5 admin. Okay, I'd still rather have them under the 4th Romanian Corps, whatever units, because the 4th Romanian Corps, they have better morale. So let's put them underneath there. 4th Romanian Corps. Romanian Corps, and then because you're empty, I can send all of their additional support units to the 4th Romanian Corps as well for the moment, together with the Pioneers. Locked. They don't have to do anything anymore. Okay, so obviously the Soviets retreated from most of the locations around here now, which is highly unfortunate. Now the 5th Romanian Corps has the best general. So if anything, I want to put units under that. The 5th Romanian. And let's put you under the 4th. Why? Because now it means I can take another unit under the 5th. Okay, there we are. The Romanians are not particularly ideal for taking territory, but I guess they will do what they must. And it didn't even go all that bad. Now, what does it mean? Because now I'm at least supposed to have yet another empty core. Let's send them over there first, but you have only one Romanian Pioneer Battalion. Well, as far as you are concerned, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 machine guns and 2 Pioneers. How about you? They don't have that many machine guns. Let's send one of your machine guns to the 5th. And I want you to send your Pioneers to the 5th too. Okay. How are we on supplies? Good. So start with you here. Next up is these. They'll stay in that supply area for now. What are you part of? Really is no reason for these to move any further than where they are now. There is a reason for me to move into Kishinev though. Also a reason for you to be put under the 3rd Romanian Corps. I might be able to do an encirclement of some sorts, but I would have to see. Part of the Mount Romanian Corps, they're part of the 3rd Army. Well, currently 4th Romanian Army is nearly overburdened. So I cannot put anything under that. Whereas you have the 3rd Romanian Army, okay, up here. You, this Cavalry Romanian Corps, should then be put under the 3rd Romanian Army. And Third Romanian Corps seems to be in a bit of trouble. Let's switch guys up a bit. So put them under the 5th. So the 5th is now also at 9. Then the 3rd Romanian Corps can take another unit. Together with this, well, the Cavalry Romanian Corps can also still take a unit. 2 units actually. And they also have 5 infantry, so you also rather have units actually under that. And another good thing about it is that the 11th Army is now the least overburdened, and I can put them in Army Group South. We'll still have to take a look how that ultimately unfolds. Okay. However, I'm almost 100% certain we can, or we will be able to make that encirclement, but as it seems I can fairly easily move in there now. You know what, let's do that. So let's use these to actually take it, and then let's keep you here for the moment, because this also allows me to clear those guys up. Now, at this point, there isn't a super great way to keep moving. Do I still have any motorized units left? I probably don't. No. Well, because the thing is, otherwise I could just keep moving towards places like Venitsa, which might actually still be worth trying to do. This, oh fuck. Well, I guess that's just another lesson. Don't attack those tanks. You actually have a lot more movement than these will. Now, this is, as far as I'm concerned, already pretty solid. Yeah, so where can these guys go? I could technically move up towards Kiev, or move further to the east towards Uman. I could pretty much do either way. But I think then encircling that, and just continuing in a general line eastward is not too bad. And then we'll see how that plays out. I can't actually clear these guys out just yet, so what I'm gonna do is I want to try and get quite a few of these, or at least position myself so I might be able to take some of these hexes, like Chernovtsi, on the next turn. They lost only 2 tanks. Wow. Well, actually, I should probably be moving that cavalry. So let's put you under the 30th. Just keep moving. And as for supplies, let's just keep those guys rolling there, and absolutely no use for this rail unit at the moment. I'll just put it on here and try to boost supplies. It's just not gonna do a whole lot, so. Okay. Fair enough. I'll try to use the Slovakians to deal with this this here pocket as well. A pocket from which I think they cannot escape. You will stay there and take care of that. So we still made pretty decent progress. Technically, if they don't abandon that, I can swing south and make another somewhat pocket down there. I would have to see how that goes. But let's make our 3rd round, probably final round at this point. So the roads up here are still not fixed. And that means I still only get to draw supply from that and these. I actually don't want this one. let's not do that. Let's not disband it, but let's just do 0 for now. I might later on, if we do get these rail lines, make it an importing port, and then I can actually send units or send stuff from there. The same applies for these now, because the rails is not working. It's no use sending supplies there on this turn. Actually, it only helps sending stuff to Riga at the moment, which is highly unfortunate, but it is something I have to live with. Which means that in terms of depots, I still don't benefit from making any further depots at the moment. I don't think so. But as far as HQs go, I pretty much have to start advancing them. As well. Well, again, trying to keep them as close as possible to the rail line. Or any rail line for that matter. Well, let's send them over there. Let's send you over here. So at that point, 16th Army HQ is gonna stay there, but with these, I actually want to move 4th Army in there. These will stay there. Moving in there. And look, Walter Kuntze is really not that good. So what I will do, you know what? I do actually appreciate already taking that. I actually really do. And since I can get Lair in there, I'll be fine. And you guys will boost some depot or another. care. Okay. Now at this point, the actual Second Army is only one more turn. And I do have these infantry divisions which can now move forward. Now, I'm actually not going to put them under any HQ because they're not going to fight yet. But it is certainly something to keep in mind, I think. Okay. Does mean that I've secured the land bridge, so I'm quite pleased at that. Meanwhile, let's send over a few more corps, because this is just embarrassing. And should probably really switch this up. So you should be put under the 7th. And then you need to move in here. And put them under the 43rd. Now let's put the security division under just 4th Army. And now I can put you under the 7th as well. One, two, three, four, 5. Just like that. Okay. That works. Then I'll just have 4th Army on this one. Should be the other way around though. So putting a depot there now. Let's get rid of this one. Or let's put them at 3. And this one at 2. So that supplies will go from here and then towards that one for the moment. And this one should be put at 2. At 1. So they are really only just there to push through the supply. If we can get to Branovici, then I'll put one there too. Meanwhile, they have to get pretty far, just like there. All right, so I also have these units. They're in no way ready yet, but I'll start moving them. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna do the last few things off screen because they mostly deal with reorganizing and redistributing supply units, or not supply units, the support units. And then once I've done that, I'll meet you back. So that's really just all the rest. Most of the important stuff I've already taken care of, so there is that. Yeah, all right, meet you back. All right, I'm back after taking care of all the other things, such as support units, etc., which I've once again divided, and I made a few little changes to how I put my units. So I put you here to have at least 2 hexes in between my units. Technically, they can still move up in here and then kind of like lock me out through that way. They can encircle all of this. But on the other hand, they might just as well go the other way too. I can see them do either. That's just kind of a problem there. The unit at Minsk, I kind of divided up to get 1 unit in Borisov and 1 part in here. So we'll see how that goes. And overall, yeah, not that much has happened, but we'll see how everything goes here. So let's ship it back to the Soviets. I've taken care of the depots, things like that. I now have 1 depot running up till here. And well, there's not a whole lot in terms of depots that I can do there, so that kind of stops. I could probably get a rail line up to Riga pretty soon, and then from there, once I fix up these pieces of rail, then I'll be good to go moving even further towards this area. I really want to get a depot at Daugavpilsk, but currently we're not there yet. And of course the closest one currently here is at Vilnius. And I hope to be able to get that to advance quite a bit as well. We'll see how that goes. Up here too, in terms of depots, we're going quite a bit further. Next up, I want to get one at Baranovici. So I'll be putting a depot there, whenever the time comes. And yeah, for the moment, that's pretty much it. These are all fine. Yeah, so let's ship it back. There are also a few infantry divisions that I moved up, and I put them under the Second Army. There are 3 infantry divisions at Berlin there. Let's end the turn. And then we'll see how it goes. The interesting thing about this game, I personally feel like, is that it does feel at least a bit easier for the moment. But I think for the most part, the good thing about this is that, you know, there's a lot of experience and things that we've learned, and that should ultimately help us quite a lot in doing a little bit better, because I've been playing through the winter and that didn't go very well, simply because I just didn't prepare for it. And well, I didn't get wrecked or anything, but it was just yeah, not the best. I'm quite sure that I could have done a whole lot better in 1941, and with the new experiences that I got, I think that it will be possible to achieve that. So I always said that, especially at the start, or that the first campaign would be a experimental campaign where I'm just trying things out, and yeah, we'll see how things go now. Of course, I'm just allowing them to do this stuff. Now, for the next turn, I might not even get all that much recon, since I need to move that forward. We'll see. Seems like they still have some units on this side, but nothing substantial. I wonder if once again I would be able to get a unit into Gomel. We'll see how it goes. I'm not too inclined to have too many units inside the Pripyat marshes, but I don't want the Russians to just allow themselves to go rampant. See, this is very weird, because now it kind of looks like they have a unit in Berezino, as if they just moved there, but they could not possibly have a unit in there. So once again, the AI is... Well, unless it was those tanks from up there, they would then have to be stuck at Berezino, but I still feel that this is rather weird. It's a problem that I also had at the start of the first campaign. Just through the first few turns, you're very spread out, your infantry cannot catch up, and the Soviets can kind of teleport-ish through all those regions. At least that was the case on the challenging difficulty, but I'm not too sure whether they can do it now. Maybe. They definitely might. I wouldn't put it past them to still be able to do that. Now, of course, this garrisoning urban areas takes a long time. It takes a longer time than it does later on. But then, of course, you do have all these reaction and attrition attacks that they'll be doing at that point. So you always have some things to worry about. But since we don't hear any more sounds, I would expect them to be done. Now, the one thing that is already going a bit better than in the previous one is that we now already have crossed the Dnieper, contrary to the last one where it was a lot tougher, and we also captured Mogilev. So there definitely is a pretty big discrepancy there. Okay. One thing that might be worth it is to try and do air interdiction over these areas, but actually, because we didn't use our fighters that much, at least we're getting some help, and they are losing quite a few Li2s. I'm actually quite pleased with these results. They're losing quite a few. Yeah, they're still getting supplies, but if we ultimately get to destroy those planes, I don't know how many of these they can make per week. But I'd rather destroy at least some than nothing. So it looks like at least up till here we're okay.